The world is ending in shades of brown. Una stands on the crumbling precipice of the Great Canyon and sees only a landscape of thirst. The scrubland behind her is a skeleton of what it once was, its game long fled, its berries withered on the vine. Before her is the canyon, a wound in the earth so wide and deep that the other side is a hazy blizzard has been creeping in for generations, a slow, patient siege of sand and heat. This is the entire world for her clan of Australopithecus, a small pocket of a dying ecosystem. There are people clinging to the edge of existence. Their numbers have dwindled. The old stories told by the elders speak of a green time, a time of plenty. Now, the stories are just a cruel joke. The land's carrying capacity has been exhausted, a concept they understand not through scholarly lexicon, but through the gnawing emptiness in their bellies and the garbed faces of their children. They are a branch of the great hominid tree that is about to be pruned by the merciless shears of climate change. Una is young, but her eyes hold the ancient weariness of her people. She is not a leader, not yet. She watches the vultures circling in the hot, empty sky. She watches the elders, their faces etched with a fatalistic despair. They believe the canyon is the edge of the world, a place where the gods swept their hand and forbade any from passing. To them, the lush, green promise of the other side is a temptation, a lie told by the spirits to lure the foolish to their doom. The clan's existence has been reduced to a grim routine, a desperate search for roots and lizards, a cautious trek to the last muddy waterhole, and a huddled, fearful sleep in the shallow caves that offer little protection from the things that hunt in the night. There is no future in this land of bones and dust. There is only a slow, dignified march into oblivion. Una looks at her own small hands, at the opposable thumbs that are the mark of her kind, the tools that were meant to shape a world. There is nothing left to shape. She looks across the vast, impossible emptiness of the canyon, at the green mirage of the other side. It is not a temptation. It is a torment. It is the last and most brutal joke of the gods, to show them a garden, and then place it forever out of their reach. The storm is not a thing of water but a fury. It arrives as a bruised purple wall that swallows the horizon, and it brings a wind that shrieks like a dying animal. The clan huddles in its shallow caves, listening to the world being torn apart. The thunder is a physical blow, a concussive force that shakes the very bedrock of the canyon. And in the heart of the storm, a sound greater than thunder echoes through the valley, a sound of groaning, cosmic timber, a crack that seems to split the world in two, followed by a cataclysmic crash that goes on undone, a sound of the earth itself falling down. When the storm passes and a watery, bruised dawn breaks, the world is changed. The clan emerges from their shelter to a landscape scoured by wind and rain. And they see it, the source of the great sound, one of the ancient giants, a colossal redwood-like tree that had stood on the canyon's edge for 1,000 generations, is gone. It has been torn from its roots and has fallen across the great chasm. Its trunk, wider than 10 men lying head to toe, now spans the impossible gulf, its far branches tangled in the jungle of the other side. It is a bridge, a terrifying, organic, unbelievable bridge. The clan gathers at the precipice, their faces a mixture of awe and superstitious terror. The elders see a profanity, a desecration. The great tree was a sacred ancestor, and its fall is a dark omen. To walk upon its corpse is a taboo of the highest order. The geomorphology of their world has been violently rewritten, and their rigid, ancestral beliefs cannot process it. The spirits are angry. The old chief Aroa declares, his voice trembling, "This is a demon's path." But Una sees something else. She sees not an omen, but a gift. A chance. She walks to the very edge, where the massive root ball has torn a raw wound in the earth. She looks out along the immense, flat expanse of the trunk. It is a road, a terrifying road, suspended over a fatal drop, but a road nonetheless. She turns to her people, her eyes burning with a conviction that challenges the elders' fear. The spirits are not angry, she says, her voice ringing with a newfound authority. They are showing us the way. The land behind us is dead. The land before us is life. A schism erupts. a deep and bitter division in the heart of the small clan. The old guard, led by Aroa, clings to the familiar misery of their dying world. The young, their bellies empty and their minds open to the impossible, are drawn to Owena's vision. This is the moment of the founder effect, a concept from a future they cannot imagine. A small group, breaking away from the main population, will carry with them a unique set of traits in this case, courage and the willingness to embrace the unknown. Una does not wait for consensus. She knows that to wait is to die. She turns her back on the elders on the land of her ancestors and takes the first trembling step onto the fallen god. The crossing is an epic in itself. The sheer scale of the tree bridge is a constant, terrifying presence. A fall means a low, silent drop into the mists below. They crawl at first, their hands and feet played on the rough bark, not daring to stand. The wind, funneled by the canyon, plucks at them, a constant, malevolent force. Behind them, Arawa and the elders are a small, silent frieze of disapproval. Ahead, the green of the new world grows larger, more real, with every agonizing foot of progress. A dozen of the clan's youngest and bravest follow Una, a thin, wavering line of hope on the back of a dead giant. They make it. They step from the tangled branches of the fallen tree onto soil that has never known the tread of a hominid foot. The air is different here. It is thick with the smell of damp earth, of unknown flowers of life. The jungle is a symphony of new sounds, a cacophony of strange birds and unseen creatures. This is the beginning of a new chapter in hominid history, a textbook example of adaptive radiation, as a single species enters a new environment with a wealth of untapped niches. But the new world is not an empty paradise. As they take their first, tentative steps into the lush undergrowth, a shadow detaches itself from the foliage. It is a cat, but larger than any they have ever seen. Its upper canines are twin daggers of white bone that hang below its jaw. The Maghero Dios, the saber-tooth, greets them at the gate to their new Eden. The cat is not a mindless monster. It is a calculating predator. It watches the small band of strange, upright apes, its head cocked with a curious, lethal intelligence. Una and her followers freeze. They have their sharpened sticks and their courage, but they are weary from the crossing, disoriented by this new, vibrant world. The cat snarls, a low rumble that is both a warning and a promise. This is their first test. Una does not back down. She raises her stick, not in aggression, but in a gesture of defiance. She lets out a sharp, piercing cry, a sound of fear and determination that is answered by the others. They are small, and they are weak, but they are together. The cat hesitates, surprised by the coordinated noise, the unified front. It is not used to prey that stares back. After a long, tense moment, it melts back into the shadows, a golden ghost. It will be back. The new world has dangers they cannot even imagine. But for now, they are alive. They have crossed the bridge. They have survived the first test. They are the seeds of the future, planted in a new and beautifully dangerous garden. Every great journey of our ancestors began with a single, terrifying step into the unknown. The crossing of a river, the scaling of a mountain, the traversing of a desert. But what if the first great migration was not a long, slow march, but a single, breathtaking act of courage across a bridge forged by a storm? Una and her followers were not just crossing a canyon, they were crossing a threshold in our evolutionary story. They were leaving behind the safety of the known world and embracing a future of profound uncertainty. This is the spirit that drove us out of Africa, that pushed us across every continent and every ocean. It is the audacious, sometimes foolish, but is the belief that what lies beyond the horizon is worth the risk of the journey. It is the legacy of the first hominid who looked at an impassable barrier and saw not an end, but a beginning. This is the chronicle of our ascent, not a grand march, but a desperate crawl written in the language of stone, sinew, and stars. And every new world demands a new kind of courage.